Let's face it, if you've got wood, you've got scratches, pets at the door, that chair gouging your new hardwood floor, and kids ruining your table.
Oh no.
Refinishing can cost hundreds, and crayons and markers just don't match that one scratch. Don't get mad. Get Scratch Aid, the wood scratch mender by Dutch Glow. It's the perfect match for any scratch. It brings all your precious wood furniture, flooring, and doors back to life. Just apply Scratch Aid, and in seconds, your dining room table looks brand new again. Now that's a table ready to set. Scratches on your hardwood floor are a real eyesore. But with Scratch Aid, those scratches simply disappear like magic. Light, medium, or dark wood, coarse or fine grain, Scratch Aid works on them all, so you don't see the damage at all. The secret? Scratch Aid goes on clear and absorbs the existing stain color, which stains the scratch, making it virtually disappear, leaving you a scratch-free end table. Watch closely. We took a meat cleaver to this expensive table to show how Scratch Aid can make even extreme scratches disappear. Look close. The damage treated with Scratch Aid is gone. Look, replacing scratched wood can cost hundreds of dollars. Using markers or wood crayons is messy, and the scratches just come back. Fix those scratches yourself with Scratch Aid, the wood scratch mender by Dutch Glow. Call now to get your bottle of Scratch Aid for just $10. Use it to fix just one scratch and it's already paid for itself. But call right now and we'll include our Dutch Glow wood butter to conceal gouges, cracks, and deep scratches, and it's yours free. Plus you'll get our jumbo microfiber polishing cloth free. And it gets even better. We'll also include free Scratch Aid instant erasers. Now you can erase scuff marks from walls, baseboards, cabinet doors, and more. Just pay additional processing and handling. You'll get all this for one low price. Here's how to order.
To order, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-297-3230. That's 1-800-297-3230.
Always watching out for you. This is KOAA News 5 at 6.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us here on News 5 at 6 on your Monday. I'm Rob Quirk.
And I'm Elizabeth Watts, and we begin with a developing story tied to COVID-19 on the Colorado College campus. Over 150 students under quarantine orders tonight after one student there tested positive. News 5 Spencer Humphrey, he's live near Colorado College with what we've learned here, Spencer. All right, we are having some audio issues with Spencer, but the university did confirm that students who tested positive, the student who tested positive has been on campus since Friday. They're in isolation receiving care. The college says that student, though, did not follow proper social distancing protocol, and as a result, multiple people in Loomis Hall, where that student lived, were exposed. So now all 155 residents of Loomis Hall under quarantine for 14 days. The school said the residents have been told to stay in their rooms except to use the restroom while wearing a mask. All traffic in and out of the dorm restricted. But with other area universities starting back up, we wanted to see what plans they have in place. And Spencer checked in with UCCS.
It's a lot of work. It didn't happen overnight, but we're excited that we're actually here, and now we just kind of work the plan and adapt as much as we can.
Hey, are they asking me for a mic check?
And Spencer was still having some audio issues with him. We apologize for that. But tonight at 10, you'll hear how leaders at UCCS and CSU Pueblo are responding to the news from Colorado College and what they hope they can learn from this. So we'll have that story tonight at 10.
Let's talk about high school and middle school and elementary school students. While they're returning to school in some districts, District 49 returning to the classroom remotely today. Some younger students in D2, Fountain Fort Carson D8, headed back to the classroom in person. Elementary and middle students in Canyon City returning to class in person as well, with older students attending classes either online or in cohort system. Fremont District students back in the classroom today. Huerfano County students now back to learning remotely. And in our continuing coverage, as schools prepare to open their doors, new data released from the CDC shows the rate of coronavirus cases in children in the U.S. has been steadily increasing. While there's no vaccine yet for COVID, a local doctor tells News 5's Mayo Davison what symptoms parents need to watch out for, and an important message about all vaccinations.
Chris Nyquist with the Children's Hospital of Colorado says the current uptick in COVID-19 cases is notable in the high school to college ages.
elementary schools versus junior high school versus high school versus college. They all have different risks based on the populations.
That's why the hospital recommends younger children be placed in small groups or cohorts during the school day, where the risk of transmission is low. It's harder to cohort older children due to the higher rate of infection and likelihood of them not following rules.
1 out of 10 of all of our COVID infections is in that age range. And so we don't have that equal proportion of young kids getting infected.
She says older children are the ones spreading the virus.
I love teenagers and I love working with teenagers, but it's really tough when you have peer pressure not to wear a mask.
She says it's important for parents to be a role model and practice social distancing guidelines. When it comes to the symptoms, there are some signs they can watch out for.
Fever is always something that people look for, and that's not as common in children. But in older kids, a fever and a cough and shortness of breath, just like for the adults, is really a common symptom.
Babies may only have a fever or milder symptoms, and as we approach flu season, Nyquist says it's important children get their vaccinations.
That's going to be tough for us to decide whether it's the flu or whether it's COVID. And so if you get a vaccine for flu, that's going to actually help us.
She says right now, parents are deferring some of the basic vaccinations.
One of the things that is really important is getting those routine childhood vaccinations, the measles vaccine.
She says it's important for parents to get with their local doctor to figure out the best plan to keep their family from getting the virus. The hospital has some resources for parents regarding guidelines and back to school. We'll have a link on KOAA.com. Always watching out for you, Colorado Springs. Mayo Davison, News 5.
Mayo, thank you. Watching out for you tonight. Many families are planning on homeschooling their students this year. The Pikes Peak Library District preparing for an increase in demand. Already, libraries provide homeschool databases online as well as physical resources to check out.
We're really trying to see what we can do for teachers, for parents, and for students. It's a stressful time, even for teachers trying to get back into the classroom.
And this Thursday, the library is hosting a virtual workshop with a homeschool consultant for families. To learn more, we have that link and the latest on the return to the classroom, no matter what it may look like for your student or your school district, on our homepage, KOAA.com.
All right, let's head outside and check the conditions right now in Colorado Springs and Pueblo. Another hot and hazy day across southern Colorado. Here's lead forecaster Mike Daniels.
Thanks, Rob. We topped out at 88 today in Colorado Springs, 96 in Pueblo. We're real close to those numbers right now. Anyway, you slice it, it's just really hot from border to border, even out on the western slope, Grand Junction right now at 96 degrees. Another hot day. In fact, tomorrow, even hotter than what we had today. This is the key player right there. Just a big ridge of high pressure keeping the monsoon down to the south, keeping the storms up to the north of us. Will be sunny, hazy, and hot afternoon highs tomorrow. 90s and even triple digits here across the News 5 viewing area. You get a hot lunch tomorrow by noon already. 92 in the Springs, 93 degrees in Pueblo. How long can this heat wave possibly hang on? I'll have that answer straight ahead before Alert 5.
Mike, thanks. In our continuing coverage, the wildfires continue to burn across the state. They're having an impact on air quality and have now consumed more than 120,000 acres and over 1,000 firefighters working to try and contain these blazes. They are doing yeoman work. We thank them all in these conditions. By the way, the National Weather Service in Grand Junction tweeting out this photo from the International Orbiting Space Station over the weekend, showing just how much of our state being impacted by those fires.
Wow, and the 4 major fires currently prompting evacuation, stretching resources thin, closing one of the major backbones of the interstate system as well for nearly a week now as we take a live look at I-70 in Glenwood Canyon tonight. Independence Pass has reopened, but only for passenger vehicles at this time. Meteorologist Alan Rose, he continues our team coverage from Teller County with a breakdown of the blazes right now. Alan.
Well, Rob and Elizabeth, those numbers are staggering. As you mentioned, over 120,000 acres